You're staring at the screen. The cursor's blinking. The deadline's tomorrow. You've made coffee, cleaned your desk twice, watched one video about productivity, then 6 more about people climbing mountains in flip-flops. And somehow, the work still hasn't started. Why? Why do we do this ridiculous dance? We know it'll catch up to us. We know we'll regret it, but we still do it. It's not laziness. If it were, we wouldn't be pacing around like caffeinated philosophers. Something deeper is happening. Procrastination isn't about avoiding work. It's about avoiding feelings. It's emotional self-defense disguised as distraction. That ugh you feel when you think about a task, that's your brain treating it like a threat. Not a life-threatening one, of course, but one to your sense of comfort, confidence, or identity. Maybe the task feels overwhelming. Maybe you're scared you'll mess it up. Maybe it reminds you you're not where you want to be. So your brain, clever but annoyingly short-sighted, throws up an escape route. Let's just watch one video first. Classic avoidance dressed up as a harmless little detour. Psychologically, this is called task aversiveness. The more unpleasant, boring, or anxiety-triggering a task feels, the more likely we are to delay it. Physically, this triggers stress in your body. Slight tightness in the chest, restless limbs, even changes in your breathing. Your body gears up to either fight it or flee. And since fighting means doing the work, fleeing usually wins. But here's the irony. The moment we flee, we don't feel better. That relief is shallow. It's quickly followed by guilt, self-blame, and that horrible sense that time is slipping through your fingers like dry sand. Yet we repeat the cycle, again and again. Why is that? What does procrastination give us that makes it so addictive? And what's the cost of this emotional short-termism? Because the real reason we procrastinate might not be about the task at all. So what is procrastination really giving us? Strange as it sounds, relief. Temporary, tiny, kind of pathetic relief. But it's real. When we delay a task, we dodge discomfort. That instant emotional payoff, however brief, feels better than facing the looming dread of imperfection, failure, or just plain boredom. Our brains are wired to chase immediate rewards, not long-term wins. It's called temporal discounting. Basically, the further away the reward, the less we care about it. Finish the project and feel proud next week? Scroll for 5 minutes and feel mildly entertained now? Sold. But here's where it gets more tangled. Procrastination isn't one size fits all. For some, it's rooted in perfectionism. If it can't be flawless, might as well not start. For others, it's fear of not being good enough, smart enough, ready enough. And for many, it's habit, a deep, grooved pattern where discomfort equals avoidance. No wonder it's so hard to shake. Socially, it gets worse. In an always-on culture where people post every finished product, we compare their highlights to our behind-the-scenes disasters. So we stall. We think, they've got it together. I don't. And that makes starting feel even harder. It's not just that we're delaying a task, we're delaying a confrontation with our own insecurities. And yet, in some twisted way, procrastination keeps us safe from that. Emotionally safe, but stuck. Now physically, your brain is not helping either. When you think about doing something unpleasant, your brain activates the amygdala, the part responsible for fear and threat. It's literally reacting to that email or assignment like it's a saber-toothed tiger. Your prefrontal cortex, the logical, planning part, tries to step in and say, hey, relax, it's just a PDF. But it's often too weak, especially when dopamine-heavy distractions are just a tap away. Every time you click out of the task to do something fun, your brain rewards you. Ping. Tiny hit of pleasure. And the more you do it, the more you train your brain to see avoidance as the smarter move. But the good news? That same brain can be rewired. You can retrain it to stop fleeing. And no, it doesn't start with just do it. That advice? Useless. Because the solution isn't force, it's redesign. And it starts with tricking your brain into believing the task. Isn't that scary after all? So how do you trick a brain that thinks writing an email is the same as wrestling a bear? You make it ridiculously easy. Stupidly small. Instead of write the essay, it's open the document. Instead of clean the kitchen, it's put one dish in the sink. Why? Because once you start, everything changes. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain hates unfinished tasks. The moment you begin, even slightly, your mind itches to keep going. You flip the emotional script from avoidance to momentum. And here's the thing, action drives motivation, not the other way around. Waiting to feel ready is like waiting for rain in a drought. But doing one tiny thing, even while feeling unmotivated, that builds a sense of progress, however small. Your brain starts seeing the task not as a threat, but as something you can handle. That's when the prefrontal cortex, your rational side, kicks in louder. Less panic, more plan. But let's be real, even small steps won't always feel magical. Some days, your brain will still whisper seductive lies. You work better under pressure, you've got time, or my personal favorite. Maybe now's a good time to reorganize your folders from 2014. That's when it helps to externalize control. Use timers, alarms, tell someone your plan, or try the 5-minute rule. Tell yourself you only have to do the task for 5 minutes. Most times, you'll go longer. But even if you stop, you still chipped away at it. Now zooming out a bit, this isn't just about productivity. This is about trust. Every time you follow through, even a little, you're proving to yourself, I keep my word. I can handle discomfort. That self-trust builds. Slowly, quietly, but powerfully. And over time, procrastination stops being your default. Not because you magically changed who you are, but because you retrained how your brain sees effort. You taught it, effort doesn't equal danger. Starting doesn't mean doom. And one tiny action, that's not a small thing. It's rebellion. Against fear, against paralysis, against every voice that said you're not enough. Because procrastination isn't a flaw. It's a signal. And once you learn to read it, you can finally move. But there's still one thing left to unpack. What exactly are we so afraid will happen when we actually begin? That fear we tiptoe around when we procrastinate, it's not really about the task. It's about what starting might reveal. What if we're not good enough? What if we try and still fail? Or worse, what if we succeed and now there's pressure to always perform? Starting makes those thoughts louder. So we wait. We avoid. Because the unknown feels safer than disappointment we might create. But here's the twist. The moment you start just a little, you begin breaking that illusion. You see that imperfection isn't fatal. That progress feels better than guilt. You start separating yourself from your performance. You stop thinking I'm lazy and start thinking I'm learning. And weirdly, your work improves too, not because you're suddenly smarter, but because fear isn't holding the steering wheel anymore. This is what psychologists call exposure. The more you face the fear, the less power it has. The task becomes familiar. Your stress levels drop. You feel clearer, more in control. And socially, your self-talk shifts. You become gentler, less judgmental. You stop seeing procrastination as a failure and start seeing it as feedback. A sign something's off, not broken. Procrastination doesn't disappear completely, but its grip loosens. You still hesitate sometimes, still get distracted. But you come back quicker. You recover. Because now your relationship with discomfort has changed. You've built something more powerful than motivation. You've built momentum. So maybe the real trick isn't crushing procrastination, it's understanding it. Listening to it. Asking, what am I protecting myself from? And then shrinking that fear just enough to act. Because once you stop waiting to feel ready, you stop waiting, period.